Okay, Steve here, and it's good to be back with you. All of you who are out there um, doing the work, and that would be all of you. If you're watching this, you're doing the work and trying to maybe possibly figure out what the work is. And so the work is about letting go. It's about letting go of beliefs, and according to my guides, all of them. And I said, well, what will you have if you don't have beliefs? And they said, you'll have your experience. So it made sense to me. So I've been working on it. Just let go of the beliefs, whatever it is I believe. I asked them, can I just let go of the beliefs that I need to let go of my beliefs? And they said, that's just like you. Looking for a loophole to do the work. So letting go sounds easy. And I can assure you from my own experience, not from my belief, from my experience, that letting go of beliefs has not been easy. I'm still working it. So, and maybe I should believe that it is easy, and then maybe it would be easier. But I haven't gotten there yet, so I haven't reached that level of enlightenment. So we let go of our beliefs, and to do that, we notice when we're triggered, when we have an emotional response to something. Somebody says, somebody does, anything. Here comes the cat. So this is Brinny. So if she comes up here, you may see the, you know, computer vibrate a bit as she jumps on the bed. But beliefs have to do with stories that have emotional attachments to the story. And the story comes out of an unresolved experience we've had in the past. And I know past, present, future, there's only now, that sort of thing. Fine. Brittany's tail. It's a pretty tail, striped. And so let's just say there is past. So I could just use it as a descriptive, you know, on a timeline. There's a future and past. And we're somewhere here, present, or maybe we're here and then the future goes on from there. I don't know. But it may be true that we're making it all up. So, just as one of my earlier instructors in neurolinguistic programming, which I studied quite extensively for quite some period of time, one of my early instructors said, do you make up your own reality? And I thought about it, really considered it. This was many years ago. It's like 86. And I went, yeah, I create my own reality. And he said, well, then why do you keep making yourself so miserable? And come on, kitty, over here. And that kind of upset me, and it upset me for quite a long time. Like until I finally decided it would be useful for me to answer the question, why do I make myself so miserable? And at that point, I stopped making myself so miserable. I still made myself somewhat miserable, and I still reacted, and the kitty's tried to get underneath. I've got the computer on a basket, and the kitty's trying to get underneath the basket, so there might be some earthquake activity going on, which I think is useful because it makes you kind of focus or click the button and get away from here, or it makes you focus on really considering the things I'm saying and not just like, oh, I know that, oh, I know that, oh, I know that. So, unresolved events from our past that have emotions stored to them are called overwhelming events because we just couldn't deal with the emotions, or traumas. Overwhelming event, trauma, same thing. So, the stories we make up out of those traumas are our beliefs. So, life is this way, life is that way. We'll see how it works. If it has a kitty in the background, and I don't want to go too far into this story. Um, and it's a story like any other story. But in order to shift our beliefs, we need to be able to acknowledge the story, acknowledge the emotions that are part of the story, hear the story, separate the emotions from the story, and then once the emotions are separated from the story, we can release the emotions. Out they go. And then the story doesn't have the emotions, and we find the story's not near as useful. I'm gonna let the cat into the closet, so the cat's not coming out of the closet. If I open the closet door, the cat will go into the closet and keep her busy for a while. Hopefully, yeah, she's good. She's in there. So we can change through our beliefs by just releasing the emotions from the stories related to our beliefs. So we get triggered, we feel these emotions. We go, oh, I feel these emotions. We go, what's the story? It comes up for me. Oh, this person did this thing to me and they made me feel bad and I don't like feeling bad. And so I should do something to them to make them feel bad so we can be equal in our bad feelings. And there's a story. And then we go, or I could just let this go. And if we do, which, some of the time I do, and sometimes I do fairly quickly, and other times I take a long time to do that. All right, so we can change through releasing energy from our beliefs, therefore letting go of our beliefs. We can change through changing our behavior. So our behavior may be such that um, we're in a habit of doing things in a particular way. And even though if we stand outside of ourselves and look at it, we may go, this is kind of a dysfunctional behavior, we still do it. It's kind of like a habit. A behavior is a habit. We keep repeating it. And as they say, as there's a saying that supposedly came from China, a person who keeps doing the same thing and expects different results is crazy. So that's their definition of insanity, expecting things to be different when you do everything the same. So if you change the way you do things, you change the outcome every time. And you also can change your energy associated with, the belief which produces the behaviors. So as we shift our beliefs, that shifts our behaviors. And we can also just shift our behaviors by letting go of our emotions associated with our behaviors. So if we have the belief that we have an addictive personality, so we've been told, or you're Irish, so you automatically have an addictive personality. I don't know what the kitty's doing, but we'll keep going. So you're Irish, so you have an addictive personality. So you believe that. So you're like, oh, I do this because I have an addictive personality. I do this because. So if you let go of the belief that you have an addictive personality and you just believe that you repeatedly do things that aren't necessarily useful for you, you could let go of doing those things because you don't have an addictive personality. So you can give them up. So you can give up lots of things and feel better about your life if that's the outcome. And if it's a different outcome, then you can change it again and change it again, change it again. So that's changing behaviors. And the last one is boundaries. How do we keep our boundaries safe and secure for ourselves and still be able to interact with others? So if you have the belief that you have a field around you that is you, and you keep that field intact, and you don't let others into that field, you keep them in their own field, and you interact with them through the field of relationship that is between you, then you can have feelings go back and forth into the field of relationship, and that's where we relate, is in the field of relationship. And so that's keeps our boundaries real clear. That includes your intimate partner, the love of your life. Might be a cat, might be a person, it could be a dog, whatever. It could be a parakeet, could be a little mouse, it could be a stuffed animal, whatever it is, and you feel that love towards that other, and you feel that love from that other, then that's to me a good relationship. You're working with this field of relationship, and there's love going into it from both sides, and both are feeling that love. This is good. This is useful from my perspective. And that's been my experience. And you could say, well, that's a belief. And yeah, I don't feel the emotion about it. I feel um, good feelings, which is different than feeling emotion. Um, Feelings are feelings. I like you. Oh, you like me. Oh, this is a good way to be. So we can be that way with each other until we get triggered. And then we go, they're a horrible person and they're trying to destroy my life. And then we go, okay, there's a belief, there's a story. That's it. All right. So that's about all for now. That's just today's story. We can change through beliefs, we can change through behaviors, and we can change through boundaries. Keep our boundaries clean, keep our behaviors changing, and keep letting go of our beliefs and deal more with our experience. So the less we listen to others about the life we're experiencing, and the more that we listen to ourselves, especially if you go into your deep self and experience the world from your deep self. Breathe into your deep self, be in your deep self, and then watch what changes. So that's good. And we'll talk again at some point, or you'll listen again and I'll talk again. It's a monologue. But I had a couple really nice comments on videos, and I wrote back to the people and had a really nice feeling of interaction with them. Although one person said that when I'm making the sounds, it sounds like I'm masticating, and that was really dis- disruptive for them, the sound of mastication. And they also wanted to know what I think notes the sounds were I was making, and I was like, I have no clue. Like when I'm making those sounds, I'm making them from a position in the body. And sometimes the sounds I'm making are the sounds of disturbance. And sometimes the sounds I'm making are the pure sound of the organ or area that I'm releasing the energy from. So it could be anything, but I don't know if it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't know what that note is. Um, I'm obviously, from my making of sounds, I'm not that musically inclined. So there you go. Have a great day, and hopefully this recorded. And now must go.